welcome to the Sunday Inside Texas live show with my guy Nash Talks Texas. Our show today brought to you by Andre the Lawyer. Thanks for doing that, Dre. How we doing, brother Nash?
I'm doing better than I was yesterday and Friday. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Again, it feels like it's you know how it goes with Texas fans and any college sports fans. I feel like the world
Yeah.
is absolutely ending in the last 2 days, and then again, obviously, credit to the guys for fighting back, salvaging a game there. But hey, first and foremost, happy Mother's Day to every of you mothers out there. Appreciate everything that y'all do. Yeah, we couldn't do this all without you guys. So thank you so much for your just everyday presence, in our lives. And again, happy Mother's Day to all you ITers and everybody else out there. Thanks again for what you do for us, keeping us all in line. But again, guys, go ahead and take advantage of that Inside Texas on 3 flash sale we got going on right now. Just $1, and that gets you part of the team during this fun off season. You got all the baseball, softball content going on, obviously, right now, but basketball off season, football off season. Hey, come spend it with the guys over at Inside Texas. And thanks for being here with us today, of course. So if you haven't done so, go ahead and throw a like on the video for us. But yeah, so Texas Ohio State round 3, man. Nash, this is, in my opinion, not to lean into it too much. What's the mother of all games, my man, for Texas in the 2026 schedule? My eyes, Nash, this is an absolute must-win game. Obviously, last year, it felt like we paid the piper, for the Florida loss. That's where it really felt like what held us back. But think about if Texas would have had a win in Columbus in the horseshoe on that resume. I don't get it. You get lost in the swamp to a 2-10 Florida team by 60. You go 10-2 with a win over Ohio State and obviously a few others. You're getting in the door. Nash, this is my Super Bowl, and it's not just because I want to beat those guys. Texas has to win this game. In my opinion, you cannot go into Tennessee on the road, Oklahoma, and then 8 straight conference games starting with Oklahoma, and have that loss to Ohio State under your belt. You just can't have it. There's no way around it. Texas wants to get back into the college football playoffs. It starts with Ohio State. Nash, do you agree? Do you disagree? The biggest game on the schedule is the Buckeyes. 12 out of 10 as far as must win for Texas.
Yeah, it's you're out of 10. Threw me for a loop there, but yeah, this absolutely we have to win this one. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Uh, I think one for a reason I'll talk about in a second, but the biggest reason, in my opinion, is I mean, you and I were there for that Cotton Bowl loss in the semifinals. Then we go and we lose to Ohio State, and playing in Columbus. I think that there's just a mentality factor that we got to get over. Like, I mean, winning that game would be a huge thing. Like, okay, we've gotten past that stuff. Now we can work. Now we can start worrying about other teams. But I think if we lose that game, not only with the fan base, but inside the inside the locker room, as much as they say they'll never, it's just 1-0. You think about the next day, you only just think about the game that's in front of you. That game is, if we lose that game again, that's going to linger, right? That's going to continue to stay inside of our heads. I just got to get off to a really good start, and also it doesn't hurt to just win that first one. Now, for the second reason, I mean, like you mentioned, there's a lot of ranked opponents that we have on the schedule. I mean, you got Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Tennessee. I'm thinking about LSU, Ole Miss. Like, there's a lot of ranked opponents that we have. And now this is preseason rankings. A lot can change. But in my opinion, this second point kind of works for both teams. Ohio State, this is a must-win game for them if they want to make, because I mean, you look at their schedule after Texas. They got Iowa. If they somehow lose to Iowa, the Iowa Hawkeyes, who's ranked as a top 15 team in the preseason, then they got Indiana, USC, Oregon coming up in a 3-game stretch with a bye week in there. I mean, their season can go downhill real fast if they have a loss to Texas.
Now, Texas, you just you talked about the loss in Columbus. The most frustrating part of last season is Texas outplayed Ohio State in that one, man. And again, we talked about that, not to beat a dead horse, but you got to win that game. You know what I mean? And I think the title of the show is very adequate, because you've let these games slip away. You don't score on the goal line in the Cotton Bowl. You know what I mean?
Let them go 75 yards.
Right. You give up a 75-yard screen pass on the last play before half, essentially. Little bitty things that have kept Texas from reaching, that next level. And obviously part of that beating Ohio State is getting to that next level. But Texas crossed the 50-yard line 5 times to the Buckeyes too, and last August. you have to find a way to win that game, man. You have that many trips inside the red zone. You have to find a way to garner more points. And so, yeah, I think Texas was that day the better team. Credit to for Ohio State again for winning the game. Obviously, consistently a hell of a program. They find ways to win. Now, it's Sark's turn. You got to be able to win these close games against really, really good competition. That noise about Sark not being able to win on a level playing field talent wise, that cry is only going to grow louder from Texas haters and from outside media. It's only going to get louder and louder if they lose to Ohio State again. And like you just said, man, you turn around and you have to run through this schedule of SEC play, neutral site game with Oklahoma, road games at Tennessee, LSU, A&M. You got Florida coming to town. You got Ole Miss coming to town. I mean, like, it's not going to be easy. You have to win this game. You have to send a message very early on that, you're ready to take that next step as a program. And so, yeah, I do feel good about that. Obviously, I've made some really stupid guarantees and wagers regarding that game. But everybody, this is the first time I'm ever going to sit here and say, like, hey, Oklahoma's not the biggest game on the schedule to me. Because I've always been a Red River guy. I still am a Red River guy. Don't get me wrong. Texas has to have this one. It's not a game that you can let get away if you want to obviously reach your goal, making the college football playoffs. And if Texas gets in, I think depending on health, obviously, has as good a chance as anybody to go win that thing. So how does Texas do it? Texas returns more, I think, experienced firepower than Ohio State. I think we feel good about that. Maybe you might have said the same last year. I don't know, kind of close, maybe a coin flip. Both sides had guys we felt good about that were going to break out as playmakers. Both teams obviously had returning experience that was going to be really really good or borderline elite, obviously. But I'm talking about Colin Simmons and DKR. Early September, it's going to be 110. I don't care what time they kick that game off. It's going to be hot as all get out. Arch Manning, Ryan Wingo, Cam Coleman, July, like, how confident are you, Nash, and what you know about this program right now? That hey, like Texas goes out there and we get that monkey off our back with these Buckeyes.
I'd say I'm pretty confident. Like I mean, like you said, you mentioned Colin Simmons. I think that to what you were kind of saying right there, what needs to happen for Texas to win this game. I think we got to win defensively. We got to the defense just has to dominate, and that starts with up front getting the sacks. Last year we didn't sack them once. I think that
Now they also got rid of the ball really quickly at the same time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they did. Yes. So I mean but at the same time, there was also only 2 tackles for loss. You just even if they're getting rid of the ball quickly, you have to get the job done, right? Uh, I think you have to force Sand into some throws that he's not comfortable making, and I think that a lot of that was Sand's first game, so they didn't want him thinking too long back there, and maybe they have the same approach this time around, but I just feel like they're gonna have more confidence in him to be able to diagnose, and replays and make decisions. So he's gonna hold on to the ball longer. But I mean, I think it starts with getting pressure on the quarterback because that's another thing that we really didn't do too well versus Will Howard. And maybe that goes to say something about a game plan that Ryan Day has against Texas. But I just I every single time I'm on here, you've heard me say I'm a big defensive guy. Defense is going to win the games more than offense is. And I think that if Texas wants to go out there and beat Ohio State, they have to dominate defensively.
Oh, I mean, I agree with you. Like you've got to win the line of scrimmage, and you've got to do that on defense. So, hey, what do we do? Stop the run. You got to stop the run at home. That's one thing Texas has, done pretty decently with Ohio State over the last 2 years. Now, Ohio State's been able to run the ball when they really needed to, like inside the red zone. Judkins, had one or two touchdowns in the Cotton Bowl. I don't know if Henderson had one, Judkins has one, but the first drive of the game and then their third touchdown too, as both of them were Judkins. Okay, so, and then last year, they get the fourth down score. On fourth down there to start the scoring in that game
after a penalty extended drive. Yeah.
2 penalties extended drive. So, again, man, it's like, at some point you got to make sure you're not helping these other teams out. But again, got to be able to run the ball when you got to be able to run the ball. Talk about being able to run the ball in third and fourth downs, being able to run the ball in the red zone, being able to extend the chains. Something we want this Texas program to get to. Ohio State's been able to do that against Texas in the last two. But I mean, Texas is right there in both of these games, man. So yeah, definitely a whole different matchup when you talk about Will Muschamp coming in and facing off against Ryan Day and Julian Sand, this offense. compared to Pete Kwiatkowski. But yeah, we're going to continue talking about that. First, real quick, we're going to hear a word from today's sponsor, Andre the Lawyer, and we'll be right back.
Texans know when you're injured, there's one name that gets results: Andre the Lawyer. Trust the team that has secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans win their injury cases. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, wrongful deaths. Don't let the insurance companies tell you what your claim is worth. Andre the Lawyer will fight for you. His principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait. Call 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. Contact info is in the description.
Welcome back. All right. And, Nash, you brought up a good point. Now that Sand's in year 2, as far as the starter, like, how does he look, game plan wise? What does Ryan Day do with him coming in and, front of 105,000 at DKR? What does his approach look like? Because last year that ball was getting out of his hands really, really quickly. Really, really quickly. A lot of short game stuff. Again, they really didn't want this Texas pass rush to have a chance to affect the young quarterback, and then that caused turnovers, also negative plays, sacks, etc. You start losing the field position battle, all that fun stuff. I'm curious, man, because Texas has obviously defended Jeremiah Smith very, very well from a numbers standpoint in the last 2 games. So yeah, like what all changes are made on both sides? It's Texas and Will Muschamp more aggressive, very tighter on the line of scrimmage and coverage. There's a lot of success with Ohio State, and they had a lot of success in the Cotton Bowl, just a slant game, and then a lot of the deep ends, the digs. You know what I mean? So like again, it's going to be a lot of fun. 2 of the coolest, uniform combos I think you can have in sports when you get the burnt orange and Ohio State's white and the helmets. You can't lose this one, Nash. This is absolute 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10. We're going back to a 12 out of 10 must win. Right now, man, I'm dreaming up a scenario where Sark comes out in front of this crowd of 105K, and that field's about 120 degrees, and there's so much buildup and hype and intensity for this game. I want to go tempo, baby. That might not be Sark's style. I want to get out there. I want to run tempo. I want to run a hell of a lot of plays, baby. Let's start let's start thinking about 2019 and how tired LSU got in that second half and how we were running around that defense. We didn't even have a running back on that roster, and we were running around that defense. But anyways, so again, just use the environment to your advantage, not from just a crowd standpoint, but hey, let's see what Ohio State's about. Again, we know they can go up there and play in some cold weather games. Sure, they play in some warm weather games too, but hey, Texas in September, DKR, concrete jungle, a little bit different down there, Nash. It's gonna be warm, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that's one area where I don't know if Ohio State's going to properly be able to prepare for coming into DKR with that weather. I mean, they can try and mimic I don't know if they have an indoor stadium where they're going to turn off the air conditioner or something like that. Hear these sorts of things, but it's just it's hard to mimic that heat because that heat will drain you real fast. Does Fox have the game? Do you know?
Man, that's a great question.
Because if Fox has the game, it's a noon kickoff, obviously.
Right.
And I'll look that up in a second. But
2 years ago it would have been Texas, Michigan, and that was Fox's. So last year it would have been it would have been ESPN, ABC. Who did they choose last year? Am I missing a game here?
Let me see.
Well, no, because Fox had Texas and Ohio State at 11 a.m.
Yeah, they had it this year. So I mean, it's just if it's an ABC game, then ABC obviously it's going to be a nighttime kickoff. I mean, you're still going to have that heat later towards the day, and then it'll start to get a little bit cooler. But I think if it's a Fox, if Fox has a broadcast, then obviously this heat it impacts Ohio State a lot more. This whole conversation about Ohio State, their conditioning and, are they prepared to come down to this Texas heat? I think that can really start to show up. Now, I mean, a lot of it really.
They've got
Texas. A lot of these players are from Texas.
We're not saying it's like a back.
But I'm just saying, like, as far as like conditioning that leading up to the heat. I mean, if you're practicing in, 80 degrees, 90 degree, low 90s with not a lot of humidity,
right?
And you come down to Texas and it's high 90s, humidity. On the field, like turf at 120 degrees bouncing off the turf. I mean, it's just that's an entirely different ball game, right?
Yeah. So listen, like if Stark gets out there and starts running screens left and right here to start this game, y'all have a little grace with the guy because we got to get them big DTs and those edge players and those backers moving and running side to side. And again, this is old coach speak. People have been doing this for a long time, but I'm just saying a little bit more grace than normal. We're gonna wear those cats out a little bit, but yeah, I mean Fox kickoff. I don't think it is a Fox kickoff, but I would hate it, man. I don't want to be back at DKR at 11 o'clock watching, Texas and Ohio State. Like it'd be a blast, and of course I'd be there. Dude, that's tough. Alabama a couple seasons back was, I mean, brother, that's hot, son. Listen, going to Ann Arbor in September and
It is Fox.
bring it on, Buckeyes. We'll see you.
Hey, baby, yeah.
You better bring it, man. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot, guys. Bring all the water, bring everything, because we'll have to be rowdy. But yeah, that's gonna be tough, man. Again, you got a lot of players on that Ohio State defense in particular from the state of Texas. Guys who obviously gone through the whole 2 days and a football season here, and they know what the humidity is like and stuff like that. So, but again, for where I'm looking at the trenches, like those guys, trench play, the defensive linemen not being able to play the same amount of snaps they might normally be able to play. The offensive linemen wearing down a little bit because of a ferocious Texas pass rush combined with the crazy Texas early heat in September. I mean, it's nasty. Y'all know what it's like. Is it really Fox though? Like that's
No, I don't know.
okay.
I think the thing that I saw it had the date for 2026, but I think that they're wrongly talking about.
Okay. I mean, I used to be on top of it, and I could have told you, like, oh, it's ESPN's year, and it's or ESPN.
Well, they may have
NBC's
not even
year.
decided yet because I know they do bids and they get to switch out between like.
I just thought they rotated year after year, and now maybe it's a different process. But I know once it was hey, they got first call this year, next year's Fox, etc. Yeah, man, I don't care. Texas just needs to win the ball game. I don't care if it's 11, 12, 3:30, 4:15, or 7:30. Like I don't care, man. It's gonna be a blast.
Get Smothers and Brown run to the edge, man.
There we go, baby. There we go.
Just like you said, get those defense get them big boys on the move.
Yeah, that's part of the whole game, baby. Let's say stretch them out, get them wide out there, and then see if we can run the ball, between the tackles a little bit better there in that second half. But yeah, I mean, again, it's a hell of a program at Ohio State. They reload through the portal, they reload through recruiting year in, year out. Unfortunately, it's got a number right now, man. We've got a little bit of Michigan's number. It feels like Oklahoma, A&M. It's like the one school out there, Georgia, and Ohio State. It's like, man, got to get over that hump. We'll deal with Georgia maybe in, potentially in Atlanta for the SEC title game if we can get that far at college football playoffs since they're not on the regular season schedule. But hey, we get another shot to run it back at the Buckeyes, man. And it's time we get there. Now, let me tell you this, Nash. They always got a dude or two or three that pop up out of nowhere, and we're like, holy hell. So we're always going to get surprised by name. It's Ohio State. They're all, we know the names, but we're going to be like, wow, we didn't expect him to be there already. And they're still loaded, man. Sam's got a hell of a wide receiving, quarter to throw.
They're going to have some. You got Chris Henry coming in. I mean, Jeremiah Smith.
Chris Henry.
If there's one thing that you can just go ahead and bet the house on, is that Ohio State's going to have a good receiving core, and they're going to put a guy on the top of the NFL draft. And until it doesn't happen, it's going to happen. It's one of those things. Like it's just you can go ahead and book that.
We're like, man, Heartline's gone. Maybe now everything will be okay, and then they'll chill out a little. Absolutely not, man. They might have as good a wide receiving talent as they've had ever. I mean, like that wide receiver room is really, really good, and that's not to knock the guys in the last handful of years because they've had some of their best ones in school history. But yeah, it's not going to be easy, man. I do like our chances. We're not going to sit here and tell you heat's going to be the ultimate factor. Texas is still going to have to go in and play well. You're still going to have to go in and win the turnover battle. You're going to have to execute in the red zone. Some of the things that Texas hasn't done against Ohio State in the last couple of seasons, man. But dude, just finish a drive. Let's finish a drive.
Well, that's like you said. I mean, that's if playing
another rock, they literally, the names are endless. You can pick any of these guys and be like, wouldn't surprise you. Wouldn't surprise you if round one. Here he is.
Close your eyes and throw. Have them all lined up on a dartboard and just throw a dart and say, yeah, that's a good wide receiver. I mean, but I think that to what you just said, like finishing drives. If there's something that's more important than defense, I mean, we have to go in the red zone. And I maintain, like last year, it just felt like we went on to the slippery slope of, okay, we're so close to getting that last drive, right? Let's go ahead and go for it again, right? Go for it again. And all of a sudden you look up and you're like, man, if we had just kicked some field goals, we're in a great spot to, maybe get just like 10 more yards on that last drive and we kick a field goal to go into overtime or even, I think it might have been in game winning field. But so it's one of these deals where we just, even if we're not finishing drives, I think that you got to finish drives with points on the board. Now, I ideally, yeah, that's a big one. Ideally, you get your way into the end zone on the red when you're in the red zone. That has to be a thing that improves, not just versus Ohio State, but in just general 2026. But yeah, I mean to that penalty comment, I think Ohio State. There's only 7 points that they have on the board that can be tied to if we don't penalize them, and it's just this really bad way.
The Carnell Tate touchdown, yeah.
I mean, and even then, that one was really well defended. It's one of those deals where as much as I said that defense has to dominate, I mean, we look at last year, defense did dominate. The defense, me and you talked about this. The defense absolutely won that game, right? I mean, the defense did everything they could have done to put Texas in the position to go out there and walk out of Columbus with a W. So,
yep. I mean, I think it's fair to say, we love the guy, but again, pretty popular opinion. If Arch plays decent football whatsoever, Texas wins that game. You know what I mean? The defense did their job, and I have a really, really good inkling that if the defense goes and holds Ohio State to 14 points again, Texas is going to be in really good shape to win that game. It's just execution, man. And I hate to be that guy. I hate to I'm not like pulling one out of Jimbo Fisher playbook right there. It feels really cringy and gross, but hey, we first drive of the game, Texas goes down the field. They run a zone split read, a little RPO, and we missed the clear read to Jack Hendricks, which would have been a layup of a first down and maybe 10, 15-yard play. Instead, we were tackled for a loss on a 4th and 1, and Ohio State has the football in good field position. Anything go, you know what I mean? Who didn't say Texas finish that drive with 7 points? And that is one of 3, 4, 5 examples you can make with one single play where you're like, hey, if this block is held a little bit longer, maybe if this running back can make
or even just follow the right block. I mean, Arch Manning, if Arch Manning follows Cole Hudson on, a lot of people know exactly what play I'm talking about.
Yeah, the
quarterback if Arch Manning follows Cole Hudson, he could have sauced it, and he could have done a waltz. He could have done a number of dance moves into that end zone. It was wide open.
Yeah, just a little dip and bounce, baby. Says the Sark lives Ohio State. Serious questions need to be asked. The Sark can beat elite programs. Hey, I don't know if you're with us in the beginning, Woodcrest, but we definitely brought up the point. If he doesn't, the cries about that are going to get really, really loud, man. This at some point, because people consider Oklahoma and A&M to be beneath Texas. That's from a Texas standpoint. Right now, our program should beat them. No excuses. You know what I mean? So he's not getting a pass for the rival thing. Yeah, I love the guy, and I love that he beats our rivals. But as far as the elite programs, they're not putting A&M and Oklahoma in that tier, right? So it's, hey, you better be Georgia, you better be Ohio State, or you better get in the college football playoff games or college football playoff and win games against some of these other elite teams. Maybe it's an Oregon, et cetera, whoever it is. Yeah, and again, that's more than fair, Woodcrest. Again, we love Sark. I have a feeling that he's there ready to take that next step. But it's like we just said in the beginning of the show, at some point that next step has to be, it's got to be proved that it was going to be taken, man. So Ohio State must win. Definitely get in our way with penalties. Yeah, Ohio State, man, they're going to be good. It is what it is. Texas going to be pretty dang good too, man. We just need to hit that upside early on. I think Texas is going to be way better off on running the football in this game. Again, there's a lot of people on that defensive line that Ohio State brings back. But yeah, see, again, Eddie, this is a kind of a good point that we've talked about here. Just a little bit too aggressive at times, not taking some of those check downs. You go back and rewatch a lot of tape in the early part of last season, and you see a lot of the crossers underneath, a lot of guys who, hey, if they're hitting stride, there's a lot of room to run. And, sometimes we just got to check down and make those decisions. Now, at the same time, Arch was really struggling with those throws. So maybe in his mind, it's like, hey, I'm more confident in my ability to fit this ball into maybe a tight window 20, 25 yards down the field instead of to take some of these layup throws. We got to be able to execute those stuff, man. You run the mesh concept stuff, you got to be able to hit that. You run your little speed outs, your little whips, your quicks. You have to be able to execute those things, man. And so, no, I'm with you on that. We thought that was a big thing with Jack injuries and not really unleashing Jack injuries. And in the beginning, I was like, man, why isn't Sark really calling his number, like, and dialing things up for him? And I really just, like Nash kind of brought up, it was like, hey, he's
Doesn't throw
there.
to him.
We're just
He
not,
doesn't,
it's
he's just
like,
not
hey,
throwing to them, man. Like
you
it's
can go run a great route and get open and look really good, but the ball doesn't come your way. There's only so much you can do. And so again, that's not to knock Arch or Sark. It's just, hey, it is what it is. Hey, Matt Patricia, Sark, a year to study the offense, man. He got a lot of time to study the offense, but at the same time, Sark obviously going to be studying that man and all of his tendencies as well. Going to be a lot of fun as always. These last 2 games have definitely been heavyweight battles, even though that one in last August, a little bit yucky of a game, if we're going to be real. A little underwhelming, I feel like, as far as like if you put your college football fan hat on and you're like, dude, Texas, Ohio State today, let's rock. And then you watch that 3.5-hour game play out and you kind of need to shower. You really
falling asleep mid game.
You're like, bro, like, it's a Sunday golf or is this Saturday college football, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, gonna be fun, man. We'll see what we're made of, man. A long way to go, but it's an absolute must-win game for Texas. For me personally, I've dubbed it our Super Bowl. You got to win that game to start it, being really, really realistic about your dreams, getting the college football playoffs, winning a national title. You lose that one, man, and everything gets muddy, brother. I mean,
It's must win. Everything after that is like
yeah.
there's the room for error comes down to
Yep.
we can have one more game that we lose, and then after that, that's it.
Yep. And listen, that schedule's difficult. It's tough, and I'm going to continue to reiterate how difficult I think the 8 straight SEC games after Oklahoma, with Oklahoma start being Oklahoma, and then playing 7 more straight games. To me, man, that is so very difficult, especially playing 3 out of 4 in November on the road. But what can you do, baby? If you gotta win over the Buckeyes, you just got that right there in your back pocket. You know what I mean? And you go and you suffer. It's college football, man. You might have a tough loss out there. It's not, yeah. So
Yeah,
9
we
straight.
moved to 9 straight.
9 straight. Yeah, that's what it is. 9 straight.
We get one bye, and I honestly I don't. Our bye is pretty early on, so that it's one of those deals where we're going to be, we're going to have some games where we're rough, we're banged up, like there's going to be some tough sledding down towards.
Is it 9 straight or is it? I thought it was 8 straight because you go Texas State, Ohio State, UTSA, Tennessee,
and then 8 straight after that. 8 straight after the bye.
Yeah. So 8 straight after the bye.
Well, but I was saying like 9 conference games.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, that was my thing. After your bye, the bye is not my friend this year, or our friend. It is not well located for Texas again. And maybe other guys here at Inside Texas, go read the board and check it out. Get everybody's opinions, because we don't always have the same exact ones. But I just don't love where it's placed. And again, now that's why I think Ohio State is as big of a game as it is. Of course, this Texas-Ohio State is a big game, but you got to win that one, man, because, again, you have that game, you're able to put it in your back pocket, and you go and play in some of these tough SEC venues. You're going to play in some tight games against some good teams throughout the course of the season. You drop one of those, you go 10-2, you're getting in. You beat Ohio State, and 10-2 starts looking, like, man, like we might be a bad finish. You go 10-2, you know what I mean? Like, we might feel a little bit gross about it, but you're getting in. You lose to Ohio State, and now you're like, bro, I'm praying we get to 10-2, and that's just one more loss throughout the last 10 games of that season, and you're going to play 8 straight conference games, 3 of the 4 on the road to finish. It's a tough schedule. I'm not coping, not crying about it. It is what it is. I'm just saying, you better show up. You better show up there to play Ohio State. What is it, September 12th?
Yeah, September 12th. And it's also, I know this is like in the order of, national championship and all these other things, winning the Heisman Trophy is not really that big of a deal, right? But if we want Arch to go out there and have a Heisman season, that winning versus Ohio State's that's a good start to the whole Heisman year that he might be having.
Yeah, Heisman be damned, brother. Just beat the Buckeyes. I don't care. I don't care.
Look, the Heisman's like a little cherry on top if we go and make the college football playoff.
But no, you're exactly right. If Arch goes in there and goes for 260 on the ground, 40 or 260 in there, 40 on the ground with 3 or 4 total touchdowns, like that immediately against Ohio State, immediately is going to start. It's going to ramp the noise up. Hey, now, Ray, I just can't agree. I can't agree. I'm going to tell you why real quick. And it's not to belittle your opinion, man, but Jalen Milroe, first year as a starter, his second start he's ever made. Bama was good. Don't get me wrong. And they became better, and Jalen got a lot better. But I just think that was a really good opportunity for Texas, a well-timed rather opportunity to go in with all the experience we had. You had added an Adonai Mitchell to, the receiver room with X. I love Sark. Trust me, brother. I'm on the Sark train. But that year, I don't know. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just saying it's tight. It's tight. Yeah, they just need. Yeah, that's what it is. They just need a little time because Milroe threw a couple. That pick to Jaron was an awful decision on Milroe's part. Not sure what he was looking at there. Really, really bad. But again, hey, Texas went in there into Tuscaloosa and scored 21-0 at Bama in the fourth quarter. Like that's pretty impressive stuff. So. Again, love Sark, but again, y'all know how it is out there. You better win that game. You better go beat the Buckeyes, or y'all know how the media works. They're gonna get loud about it. But hey, I've already told y'all, I'm flying to Columbus, watching Michigan and Ohio State at the 50-yard line, painted in a Columbus, but whatever, scarlet red, is that what it is? Not good with red because I don't own any. But yeah, I'm body painting it up if Texas doesn't beat Ohio State by double digits. But they're going to do it. It's happening. I'm confident, Nash. Justice Terry breakout year, wouldn't be shocked. He's going to take a leap. How big of a leap, does that man take? But he made some big plays at the end of last year that give me, great confidence. He's going to be a big part of it. Again, go look at that Michael Taft pick against Marcel Reed to close out that A&M win, baby. Justice Terry, baby. Just absolute huge part of that. Blowing up the guard, getting him back into Marcel Reed and forcing Marcel to be a little bit quick, a little bit awkward with his pass there. So, yeah, justice time is coming, Eddie. Good comment there. But, all right. Mello, I am out of my mind, and so are you, though, man. You're watching the Texas show as a Buckeye fan, so both of you. Yeah. Hey, okay, so there we go. I'm glad that now we caught on. All right, everybody knows about the bet now. I talked about it a couple weeks in a row, but I felt like nobody was listening out there. So now everybody knows. So y'all can hold me accountable. We'll see if Texas can hold up, because if not, y'all gonna be able to make fun of me a lot. I'll definitely still be rooting for Michigan, Mello. I hate to say it, but I'll be rooting for Michigan even if I have to go up there in all red. Man, one day I want to go to the game. You know what I mean? It's just a bucket list. I guess ideally Texas wins the game by 9 points. I still have to follow through on the bet. I get to go watch, an iconic, bucket list.
Wait, so it's Texas has to win by double digits.
Double digits, Nash. Not. It's not just Texas. It's not just.
Look, I got a feeling. Sark is not going to be your guy if we're sitting there with the ball late and we have a 9 point lead and he just starts to run out the clock.
Man, one of the funniest calls I ever got, I was with my girlfriend, and y'all remember those stupid Twilight movies, man? God, dating a girl, wanted to go to Twilight. We had to go to Twilight. Texas is playing Kansas. It's Shipley and Colts senior night, and my buddy just called, this is actually my buddy's dad, and he was like gambling on the game and was really mad at Mac for kneeling on the goal line. And no, not kneeling on the goal line, but he always goes for it on fourth down, not throwing the score up, but to give the defense an opportunity to stop them in a blowout. You know what I mean? Instead of just taking the auto 3 points, and he needed the 3 points to hit some like silly mega parlay, man. And he left me the funniest 3-minute voicemail, and just he wasn't very happy with Mac, Colt, Shipley, anybody that was anywhere in Burnwash that night. Pretty funny. But yeah, y'all hold me accountable to the bet. I'm going to hold Texas football accountable. They need to do their part, and then I don't have to do anything. I can just sit here and we can talk about Texas beating Ohio State the day after it happens. Nash, thanks for doing this with me, man. I gotta go get some water, dude. Flag football wore me down. We went 1-1, got shut out in one game, but pitched a shutout in another game. OC and Q even know what they're looking at when they have the ball. Man, we'll see, brother. We'll see, Mello. Thanks for being here, though. I do like that you show up and hang out with us, man. All right, Dre, appreciate you sponsoring the show. Nash, thanks for being here, my man. All of you guys in the comments, I appreciate you. It's always fun here with the Sunday crowd. But yeah, Nash, when are you back on Insight? When is the Nash and Evan show? Is that tomorrow or Tuesday, brother?
Tomorrow.
We got Nash and Evan show tomorrow. I'll be back Wednesday evening. Probably have Nash and Evan here alongside with me. But yeah, guys, happy Mother's Day again to all. Fellas, take care of those ladies. If you're on here with us, I'm happy you're here. But now you got to go run over there and take care of those ladies. Hope everyone has a blessed Sunday, and we'll catch you next time here on Inside Texas.